What is up, my fellow budget travelers? This year, I want to do a look back at some of the fun places I've been, and since Valentine's Day is coming, I'm going to highlight some of the most romantic places I've been. Some of them have been with friends, some of them have been moments I've had personally, but I want to share some of the stories because a lot of times I'll show you guys where I've been and give you room tours and stuff, but you don't know what happened on the actual trips. So for this first video, it's pretty obvious. It was Paris in Las Vegas. But if you guys have been in there, you are going to have such an experience. If you go to Mon Ami Gabi, you can sit there at the restaurant. It's this really romantic experience. You can see the Bellagio fountains over on the side. And if you time it right, you could see like up to 3 fountain shows. So it's really fun. And just even staying there, I mean, check out these rooms. This is romance to the nines. Like if you're looking for a romantic trip to Vegas, definitely book Paris because you feel like you're in Paris. Also, they have all this stuff around that really takes you into that world. So this was probably the most romantic trip that I've been on. And the funny thing is, it was a girls' trip and it was a girls' party trip. We were partying so hard this trip. We were day drinking, going to all the day parties like Steve Aoki over at Wet Republic. We were drinking margaritas. We were partying it up. We even did karaoke. He was actually really good. He sounded just like Frank Sinatra. We saw Deadmau5 at night, Marshmello. When I say we were partying, Marshmello threw money from the sky and we collected it all and we made like $156 that we spent the next day on brunch. So even though we were having this crazy party experience, we were staying in this really cute romantic room. So that in itself was just hilarious to me. This city itself is really romantic. They've got a number of different restaurants for you to go and check out. There's all kinds of things to do here, and the whole city in general is basically walking distance. You also see a lot of golf carts and stuff around. They've got a marina, so you can see all the boats going in and out. They've got a bunch of festivals that go on. Like this was Coco Market. I think it's the first Sunday of every month or something like that. There's art all over the city. So if you're into art, it's so fun to go with your girls and just kind of explore. They were really into dogs. But they've got a lot of fun stuff like a pinball museum. It's just such a fun vibe and it's very beachy. You've got the beach right there. And it was about 2 blocks from our hotel to the beach. We stayed over at the Seagate Hotel. And it was just perfect the way it was. It was just such a chill place. And by staying there, we also had access to their beach resort. So that was really cool and romantic in itself. If you get a chance to have dinner here, if you're staying here, it is so romantic there. I can't tell you, like as the sun is going down and everything, it's so pretty. Even just being on the beach, watching the sunset, this is like a perfect spot for a sunset. And I don't know if you guys know this about Florida clouds, but check this out. They like stack on top of each other. It's like the weirdest thing. But every time I go to Florida, I always see this and it always weirds me out. I'm like, what is up with the clouds in Florida? I don't know. If you guys know, let me know in the comments. But for this particular vacation, I was like in this depression zone. I was going through some stuff personally, and you know, on vacation, a lot of times you go to kind of escape like reality. And in that moment, I was walking around and I was seeing these snails everywhere. They were climbing on everything. If these snails are like climbing and ending up in all these crazy positions, I'll be able to get through this. I don't know if that makes sense, but watching the snails, it was really like a heartwarming thing for me. I kind of had just some realizations and my eyes were open to some things while I had that time to myself. This next experience was in Vegas. It was at the El Cortez. If you get a chance, definitely check it out. It is one of like those old school casinos in Vegas. It's got those old school vibes. You really feel like you're going back in time. And that's exactly what happened with me and my friend, because there was a lot of things on the menu that you don't really see at most places. Like we had liver and onions. And guys, this is gonna sound crazy, but me and my friend are both foodies and I've never had it before and I've always wanted to try it. And she got to have this dessert that she always has wanted to try. So we kind of had this cool romantic friendship moment where I got to try something new, she got to try something new. And it was a whole experience. Like the server was really chill. She's been working there forever. So we got to hear some of the history of the place, and just knowing that you're sitting in a table where like mobsters were hanging out at one time. I don't know, it's this weird romantic friendship thing because like me and my girl, we are like together in crime in Vegas. This one was all about the room, guys. Like when I tell you the Cove Atlantis is the most romantic room you could ever have, I mean, look at these views. Just Basically, the way the bed is set up, it faces out into the ocean, and then you have a little step down. You have such a nice view. It's basically anywhere in the room has a view. So you have these full like floor to ceiling windows and this balcony, and it's just so pretty to like watch the cruise ships come in and out and just watch the sunset, sunrise. But this room itself in general is so romantic and totally worth the price. I also had these cool romantic moments with the fish, as weird as that sounds. But I'm scared of water. So, well, I'm not like scared of water, but I should say I'm scared of the ocean. And the idea of just all this stuff swimming around, it really freaks me out. So on that trip, I actually had this realization of the water's not that bad. And for whatever reason, the water was completely like no waves or anything. So I felt comfortable swimming out. And of course, as I'm stepping into the water, a manta ray swims like right in front of me. I almost step on it. I don't know why that always happens to me. Like I'm even shaking like talking about it. It happened to me in Turks and Caicos too. Like the manta rays were just everywhere. I finally got up the balls to swim out into the ocean because my friend was like, dude, there's sea turtles out here. So if you go to the cove, if you swim into the ocean, there's actual live sea turtles. They are wild and they're just eating kelp and swimming around, and they'll just come and pop their head like right next to you. And it's one of those moments, especially when you're out in the middle of the water and there's nobody else around you. You're just sitting there and there's just turtles coming next to you and swimming right in front of you. It's this cool, romantic, worldly experience where you're just like, wow, I am just this small little person in a big world. So that was really romantic for me. These next 3 experiences were at resorts. I don't want to like blow my girl up too much, but she was going through it. She had just gotten out of a really bad breakup. And this was a freedom trip for us. Like, we're having a girls trip. We're just gonna eat everything and drink everything and just like get the best tan of our lives. And that's exactly what we did. But in the meantime, we were meeting all these cool people from all over the place. And I was like, dude, they have a beach swing. Let's go down to the beach at night. And my friend had this epiphany, and it was so nice to be there for her, like girl time. And she just kind of like screamed into the ocean. I'm totally going to put the video in there and show you. I'm not going to show her face, of course, but she was screaming into the ocean, and it was the most like romantic friendship vibes. It was just so romantic. Like when your friend is really going through some stuff and you're there for her and she like gets through it with you. I know girl to girl, you guys get it. Like when you're just there for your girl, ride or die, and she is riding or dying and she makes it through it. It was just such a great moment. Okay, let's be honest. For Blue Diamond, I wish I had somebody. I wish I had somebody there. I was on a birthday trip. It was like a couple, and then there was a bunch of us single people. The couple had a great time, let me tell you that. But let me show you the room. Like, dude, I'm telling you, double rain shower and an outside tub. Like, what? It's so cool. So, of course, me being the single person that I am, and I was staying by myself, I was freaking out because monkeys and animals are jumping on the roof at night. So while they're having this whole like romantic getaway kind of thing, I was freaking out at night, and I put my like chair in front of the door because I was like, oh my gosh, what are these noises in the night? But looking back, it was such a romantic moment because that was my first trip where I kind of stayed by myself. Usually I stay with friends in the same room or connecting rooms or something. So that was my first actual like stay alone at a luxury resort. So that in itself was really empowering for me, and I was super paranoid about safety. If you guys ever stay by yourself, this is some great tips on how to feel safe in your room. You could also go to my Amazon shop and stuff down below. It has all the links to products for extra safety in the room, locks that go on your door and stuff like that. That really helps just with your mentality of like, okay, nobody can get in this room kind of thing. But of course, I was having this moment where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna, film the bathroom, and then I'm gonna take a beautiful rain shower with the windows open and stuff. And the lawn care guy came. So yeah, fun times. They do routine maintenance throughout the day. So, sometimes of the day are better to take a shower than other times of the day, or an outside bath. Yeah. I also had some really great moments at Royal Hideaway. It was during COVID when I was there, so we were all freaking out because you had to test positive to come back into the United States. Whoa, totally messed that up. No, you had to test negative for You had to test negative for COVID, not positive. So you had to test negative for COVID going out of the country, and then you had to test negative going into the country. There was all this stuff. You'd have your COVID card and all these things. So even though we were out of the country, we were like, oh, it's Mexico. So if anything, we can just drive back into the States and still get in. You just can't fly. You know, there was all these like loopholes that you could do, like go to Tijuana and just walk over the border if it gets that bad. Luckily, everything went smooth. But it was this crazy moment in life where you're like, wow, we are really in a pandemic. Like I was sitting there waiting for my test results. Like, what is life? Like, what is this life that we live right now? And looking back, you're like, wow, that was crazy that that happened. But in the moment, you're like, it's crazy that it happened. But I don't know. It's just also one of those romantic moments in life because I was like, you know what? If this is how I go, this is how I'm going to go. I'm on the beach at this beautiful resort. I'm getting great food, great hospitality. And I also went to Chichen Itza on that trip. And that was just this, wow. There's so much energy there. And there's so many things that you see and you're like, how does that even exist? Like at Chichen Itza, there's a way at a certain time of the year that it looks like a serpent comes down the pyramid. There's just all this crazy stuff and you're reading all the history and you're like, this happened like thousands of years ago. How is this even like still here? I don't know, your mind starts going all over the place. So that was a really romantic time for me because me and my friend really bonded and we became even better friends. And there was a whole ton of things that happened. Like, for example, the car that we rented, that part of Mexico is known for like cartel. So basically we were driving a rented cartel car. Like the license plate is the area that a lot of the cartel hangs out. So as we're driving, we were freaking out because there's like construction zones and stuff. And we're like, well, we're scared to get pulled over because you hear about how the police like take your money and all these like crazy stories. So we're like driving and we're like, why are we doing this? What is wrong with us? And there's like cars all behind us. Oh my gosh, the whole time we've had these cartel plates. And that's the reason why nobody really bothered us because of our plates. I don't know. It was this whole thing because we met a bunch of Mexicans and they were laughing because they told us the story and it was just crazy. So always go on that adventure because you never know what is protecting you. You're going on an adventure and you're seeking the light, seeking just experiences on another level. And somehow the world will protect you and show you that experience and get you home safe. And that's exactly what happened that trip. A lot of these stories, guys, I'm sorry, I'm such a positive person. You're probably like, oh my gosh, get over it. But I just love that about travel, that you can have all these positive experiences. It just makes you see the world in a different way and you realize like the beauty of travel. And I hope you guys understand that through my videos. I really try to show you guys, look at what it's like here. It's really safe. Look at what it's like here. It's really safe. You don't have to spend a lot of money here. You don't have to spend a lot of money there. I hope me showing you all my experiences and sharing videos like this helps you want to travel more because I'm telling you, when you get out there and you start traveling, it really changes your life. This is another like romantic bathroom. The Vidara has these crazy rooms that all of the blinds are automated. So you just push the thing on the wall and they go up and they go up. And I could afford it because I got one of those free room offers. I tell you guys all the time, sign up for the casino players cards and they send you free rooms and food comps and all sorts of stuff in the mail. So the Vidara was one of those where I got a free suite. First of all, staying in a suite is so much fun, and especially somewhere where like the Vidara, there's not a casino downstairs, so you don't have to gamble or anything. But it's just like this cool experience all in itself. It's an elevated experience. So it's nice to spoil yourself once in a while. And we had the best time there because it wasn't like a pool party pool. It was just like a chill vibe. There were some kids here and there, but it was mostly just a chill vibe. So you could go downstairs, order food, just chill at the pool. We had such a nice like pool vacation that trip. And just that relaxation sometimes is really romantic for yourself to just like unwind and chill and be in a nice room, be in a bathtub where the windows automatically go up and down. It was just so cool and romantic. Another thing about Vegas that I love that's really romantic is they have so many experiences that are just free. You can go to all these free shows, like the Venetian I was talking about, they had free operas. If you go to the Bellagio, they have a free piano show. You don't have to go in to watch the piano. You could even just buy a coffee if you just want to sit there and have a little romantic moment. But the piano just kind of floats throughout the lobby of the Bellagio, and If you go into the conservatory gardens, that's really romantic too. There's just so many experiences within Vegas itself that is really romantic and fun, and hope that I encourage you guys to get out there and explore, and you know, instead of spending your money on Starbucks all the time, maybe spend your money on one vacation and just get out there one time to experience what you've always wanted to experience. My grandfather, when I was young, he said, you need to travel and get out there and do it while you can, because one day you won't be able to do it. And I've lived by those words for my whole life. So I want to kind of spread the word on that and encourage you guys to live by those same words, because one day you're not gonna be able to do it. You're watching all these videos, favoriting all these videos, saving all these travel tips, but you're not using any of them. So hopefully this video will be that like push for you to actually use some of the tips that I say and take advantage of some of these deals that happen throughout the year, because you can travel for so cheap. And all these luxury influencers and stuff, they always want you to think, oh, you have to pay all this money to get this experience. You can stay at an all-inclusive resort in the cheapest room and have the same experience as someone in the most expensive room. It's all included. You get all the same food, all the same beaches, pools. Some of them are like villas, you have a hot tub in it, but you know, you could just go to the regular hot tub. Like there's still a hot tub, you know what I mean? So I don't want you to get discouraged when you see these Photoshop photos and stuff like that. I want you to see the realities of travel, how much fun it really is, the kind of people you really meet. And I just want you to see the real travel experience so you're not afraid and you get out there and travel. So get out there and travel. Have a great Valentine's Day. And if you are planning a Valentine's Day trip somewhere romantic, make sure you check out my list down below. It has some things like you could surprise your significant other with in the hotel room that are easy to hide and pack away. So check that out. Otherwise, this is the video YouTube thinks you'll like the most. So get on that vacation and maybe that's where you should go. I'll see you there.